Captain Underpants, the first epic movie, is directed by David Soren, who previously directed 2013's Turbo, which, let's be honest, you probably don't remember it. I don't really remember it, but I think people will remember Captain Underpants, as this is adapted from a very popular series of children's books. It's also important to remember that this was written by Nicholas Stoller, who has had a ton of success on the live-action comedy circuit with Getting to the Greek, The Muppets, Sex Tape, Zoolander 2, Storks, yeah, he's all over the place. So, Captain Underpants follows two 4th grade kids, that's Kevin Hart and Thomas Middleditch, as they attempt to stop their evil principal, voiced by Ed Helms, from separating them, putting them in different classes and essentially annihilating their friendship, as he calls it. However, they use a device called a hypno ring, which they find in a cereal box, to transform him into the fictional superhero that they created called Captain Underpants. Captain Underpants is basically this dim-witted, underpants-wearing superhero who the two kids need his help to take down the evil Professor Poopy Pants. Yep. I don't know about you, but I just can't bring myself to hate a movie where the villain's called Professor Poopy Pants. No, I just can't. In a very genuine sense, though, I think this is a movie that will appeal to both adults and kids. It's got a strong mix of kid humour. You've got some fairly elaborate fart jokes, to be fair, that went over pretty well with me as well. But you have got those more silly things, and then there is a good mix of adult and meta humour as well. There's even a Rotten Tomatoes joke in there, which I thought was really funny. And yeah, I think 3 or 4 people laughed in the whole cinema. If you do want to take your kids to an animated movie where there isn't just this abundance of forced pop culture references, or not talking about Twitter or Instagram every 5 seconds, the toilet humour actually does have a bit of substance to it, I guess, then this is definitely the movie for you. The animation is also really excellent. It's very unique looking. The facial expressions in particular, nothing I've seen in any animated film recently. The mouths and the teeth in particular really help you sort of get immersed in this world. And there's also a lot of changes up of the animation style. They use 2D, there's a flipbook section, there's a live action puppet section. I thought all of this was really charming, and it kind of stopped the film from getting too bogged down in one particular style, maybe getting a bit stale. It kept mixing things up, and that was really good. The performances are solid, but I don't think there's too much that really stood out. Kevin Hart is just being very boisterous Kevin Hart, which may be a little bit grating sometimes, but I think he suits a kid character well. His voice just works that way. Ed Helms did a very good job as Captain Underpants and the principal, especially as they do sound quite different, and I didn't realise it was him until I saw his name in the credits. And then there's Nick Kroll, who was really fun as Professor Poopy Pants. And I didn't know it was him. I thought it was Jermaine Clement. It just sounded like that kind of Jermaine Clement voice that everyone knows. But again, very good job. No complaints. There's just nothing that was particularly iconic or blew me away. It was absolutely fine. Just, that was it. I think it's fair to say that this is a pretty simple film overall. The core plot is probably the least interesting thing about it. It's the personality and the way the film is delivered that makes it work so well. It clips along at a really nice pace. It's not even 80 minutes long by the time the end credits roll. And it's that wit, that adult wit, that will keep the adults interested. And the clever kid humour as well. And the gorgeous animation that makes this a success. So to conclude, Captain Underpants is a really solid animated film. And you know what? It's a pretty great superhero movie as well. Captain Underpants, the first epic movie, gets a 7 out of 10 from me. Thank you so much for watching. And I'll be here from dusk till dawn.